With the fourth pick in the 2022 NFL Draft, the New York Jets select Sauce Gardner, defensive back, Cincinnati.
Welcome to Jets Overtime, presented by Dunkin. This is a 2022 NFL Draft Special. I'm Eric Allen, joined by Anthony Becht and Eric Coleman. Well, the Jets got the draft underway with the selection of Ahmad Sauce Gardner with the fourth pick, and then they come back with the 10th pick and take Ohio State wide receiver Garrett Wilson. Anthony, you could say right now the Jets just grabbed the number one cornerback in this class and the number one receiver in this class.
You're right. I mean, listen, a lot of excitement, right? I think we've been talking about this ad nauseum for the last couple, well, really for the month, but I think Sauce was at least high on my list to get this guy. This guy's 6'3", 190 pounds. You look at what he did in college. He comes from a great system. He's improved every year that he's played. He's legit. I mean, this is a guy that's going to change what you can do defensively, and he's doing a lot of things. He's coming off the edge. He's taking up the number one receiver on the outside, and he's also a great tackler. He's got great speed. You talk about 6'3", Eric, and the size that he brings, that's a nice combination.
Absolutely. I mean, the way that he can change direction, he excels at bump and run coverage. He can go up and lock up any number one receiver. It's going to be a real weapon for this Jets defense. Going to open up what they can do defensively. He's physical in the run game. He, like you said, he can come off the edge. I'm just going to thank the Houston Texans for not picking him at number 2 or number 3 and giving us the opportunity to get him at number 4. I think he's going to be a great player for years to come.
Yeah, how about that? We're just off and running. Sauce is coming to the Big Apple, though, and our own Caroline Hendershot caught up with him in Las Vegas after he was selected.
Here with the number 4 overall pick for the New York Jets, Ahmad Sauce Gardner. Sauce, how does it feel? It's been a long journey to get to this point. What are the emotions running through your head right now?
Man, it feels so unreal. Like, my body, I got the butterflies still, so I don't even know how to adjust to it. It's a blessing, though, man. I'm excited to be a New York Jet for sure.
During the pre-draft process, when you were speaking with Joe Douglas and Robert Saleh, did they give you any inclination you were going to go this early at number 4?
No, they weren't saying that. They were just expressing how much they like me, how much they like watching me on film and how much they like the kind of guy that I am. So it wasn't really any pointer saying we're going to get you at 4.
What did they say would be your fit in this team?
Just being able to come and be a sponge, be able to take information from other people, first of all, and I'm a great person, so they felt that I'd be a great teammate. Being able to shut the top guys down, that's the kind of defense they play. They like playing a lot of man, so they felt like I was a great fit, a great scheme fit, and I feel that way as well.
You've spoken a lot about growing up in Detroit and overcoming that adversity. What got you to this point?
Man, like you said, that adversity, that intrinsic motivation, I've been through a lot in my past, but I don't forget about it, and that just keep me going. Just want to always be able to take care of my mom, and the fact that I just got drafted to the New York Jets, I'm going to be able to accomplish that.
You call yourself the chosen one. Why is that?
It's because I was always at the bottom of the barrel. Since Little League, I ain't have anything. Well, Little League, I was cool. High school, I was at the bottom of the depth chart. Got through in the fire, made the most of the opportunity. College, bottom of the depth chart. Threw in the fire, made the most out of the opportunity. And throughout that whole time, I just kept a strong relationship with God, and I feel like it just paid off.
What would you tell young Sauce, who just fell in love with the game of football and just wanted to play football, about the journey you've been on so far?
Man, it was a long journey, a long, tough, bumpy journey, bumpy road, but I just stayed focused and stayed dedicated, and this was the result.
And what are you most excited about? Probably playing with the New York Jets, or what are you most looking forward to?
Getting to New York, being able to meet my teammates, my future brothers, and just being able to show them the type of guy I am and what I can bring to the team.
Congratulations. We can't wait to see you in the green and white.
Appreciate it. I can't wait either.
You are watching Jets Overtime, a 2022 NFL Draft Special. The Jets get their draft underway with the selection of Ahmad Sauce Gardner out of Cincinnati with the number 4 pick. Then they come back and get Garrett Wilson with the number 10 pick. In terms of Sauce Gardner, what a story, Anthony. the 163rd cornerback in the 2019 recruiting class, and the number 41 recruit in the state of Michigan. Oh, yeah, he's the number 4 pick in the NFL draft in 2022.
What a great story. I mean, you talk about playing with a chip on your shoulder. I like those kind of players. I like those kids that have been denied and always said, hey, he's not good enough, and doubted. And then he goes to Cincinnati. You know, clearly could have played at any school across the country, and really just took on what Luke Fickell, the head coach there, the personality of that team. Disciplined, accountable, strong, defensive-minded, and he comes in with 3 years of starting there. And the one thing I like about America is he improved every single year. Sometimes you see guys that, you know, have a good early on, and then all of a sudden they find not too many, you know, improvement in their game. He found a way to do it every single season.
Yeah, and you love to hear how grounded he is. You know, he knows where he came from. He understands the work that was put in to get to this point, and you can only imagine what he's going to do once he gets to the league. He mentioned coming in, soaking up the knowledge like a sponge. This kid still wants to get better. He knows that he has a lot to improve on, and when you have that along with that talent, you have that motivation, that's how you end up with some great players.
You played safety. Why does this kid excel in man press coverage? Because one thing that's always stuck out to me about Robert Saleh, where a lot of people say, hey, your system predicated on zone coverage in the back end in Seattle and San Francisco, now with the Jets. Saleh has always said, you have to win. Beat your man on third down.
Yeah, you have to win one-on-one matchups in this league. Third down, when you want to blitz, you have to play that man-to-man coverage. And the thing is, Sauce can do it all. He can play press coverage. He has long arms. He's patient. He has a long radius that receivers have to run around that's going to throw off your route, throw off the timing with the quarterback. And the thing I love about him, he can also play off, back up in his zone, jump the ball. He has great eyes when he plays with great leverage, and he has awesome footwork for a big corner.
Anthony, 9 interceptions.
Yeah.
He never gave up a touchdown pass at Cincinnati, and he wasn't targeted last year. Quarterback said, I'm just not going to throw your way.
Yeah, amazing. I think 4 targets versus Alabama. I think only 14 yards receiving they had against him. I think we all know the type of receivers that they have at that school. Listen, the one thing that sticks out to me automatically, and you would take this for granted because you just think DBs do it, but I don't see a lot of it for some reason. He gets his head around and finds the football when he's defending. You saw a couple highlights there. I love that. You know, big body guy. He trusts his technique. I've never played corner, but you could tell me the reason why guys don't get their head around is they don't quite trust what they're doing. They don't trust the skill and technique that they have. And I think a lot of that is the discipline in his game, and he's done a really good job of that. And that's something I think will bode well in the league because he's got length. He's got speed. Huge wingspan, right, for this kid as well. And he is a grinder. I just think he's going to fit in great. Robert Saleh, you know everybody's excited in the building. Obviously, Joe Douglas and his team. You know, look, you scout him heavy, you learn all about the kid, but clearly they're getting a top, you know, could have easily been arguably one of the best players at the top of the draft, and they get him at 4.
What do you think that war room was like tonight when they saw the Texans take Stingley?
Oh, yeah, I think they were super excited. They were ecstatic because Sauce was their man the whole time. And if he fell to that number 4 position, they were going to jump all over him. I think he is a great fit for this defense. He can play zone. He can play man. The coaches have to be ecstatic. And more importantly than that, he's a great kid. And he's going to be a good leader on this team, a great example, a guy who's coming in number 4 pick, and he still wants to get better. That's what I love about him.
Yeah, Anthony, you made a great point about Cincinnati and their build. How much will that help him here with the Jets, a team that is looking to ascend itself, has not been to the postseason in 11 years? You don't think of Cincinnati of going to an NCAA playoffs, but they were in the semifinals last year going toe-to-toe with Alabama.
And they could have probably done it the year before that, too. They had a great season. Look, I called some Cincinnati games in the past. Luke Fickell, the way he runs his team, I think that kind of personality, that build is what's going to jump right in. It's all business, right? And I think you see that. You saw the interview there with Caroline just about his demeanor. And I think he's a confident player, but he's humble as he does it. And I think he's going to step right in. He's going to soak in the knowledge and the defense of what they're going to ask him to do, and he's going to be great. So, I think you feel good when you put your head on the pillow tonight, like you got the guy you wanted. He's going to step in right now and be a factor for this football team, and he's going to help. And you like the other additions that you picked up in free agency with Reeder and also, the safeties and everybody that's gotten better, the young DBs that have gotten better and got a lot of experience last year. It's a great mix and a great opportunity for this defense to take strides in the secondary.
Yeah, how about the secondary? The improvements we're talking about here. DJ Reed comes in from Seattle. He started his career under Solid in San Francisco. And that Jordan Whitehead, who Anthony knows very well, what he brings to the table, playing that safety position with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, he's just 25 years old. So you're starting to see this secondary come together now.
Yeah, you love it, and you love how athletic the secondary is. You talk about both of those safeties. Whitehead is a guy who can come downhill, is very physical. He loves to play the ball at the point of attack. And then you talk about Bryce Hall.
Yep.
Look how big these corners are. Bryce Hall's about 6'2". Sauce Gardner is 6'3". There's some size here, along with these players' athleticism. I think the versatility is going to be nice as far as what you can do scheme-wise with all these corners and safeties.
And Carl Lawson's back. So now the quarterback has less time. Mm-hmm. He's going to be fired up off the edge. I mean, listen, this only helps a secondary that's getting better, that's young, hungry, and you should see big improvements from this team.
How about making hay inside the division? I think that's going to be a big-time emphasis for this team this season. Of course, no division wins last year. The Buffalo Bills, last 2 seasons, 11-1 inside the AFC East. But you think about the receivers in the division. Stephon Diggs, Gabriel Davis in Buffalo. Miami Dolphins, they just traded for Tyreek Hill. They got Jalen Waddle. You're going to have to compete with these receivers.
Absolutely. I mean, you're going to have corners that can match up man-to-man. And at the end of the day, yes, you may play a zone scheme, but you have to win one-on-one matchups. At some point in time, everyone's going to have to buckle down, win their matchup to get off the field, to get wins. And I think it's a great start by the free agency additions that they brought in and adding a guy like Sauce Gardner.
Can we talk about how the board fell? Trayvon Walker, goes number 1, of course, to Jacksonville. Then that's followed up by Aiden Hutchinson, who goes number 2 to the Detroit Lions, followed by Derek Stingley, number 3 overall. Here is how the cards were dealt in Las Vegas tonight. And then Gardner goes 4. Kayvon Thibodeau, the pass rusher out of Oregon, goes 5 crosstown to the Giants. What did you think about the way it's set up and the selection of Gardner based on who was still remaining?
Well, you could have said easily that one of the tackles would have been attractive, right, to take in that position. Some really good players there. You see the premium for the pass rusher. I still think that's something, the Jets are probably maybe in play with in this round even, moving up. I mean, it's a long night here and how you can get more guys and how it falls. I promise you're going to see names on these picks as we go, and I don't know what pick we're on now as we're on the show live, but you're going to have guys that all of a sudden become attractive to you that be high on your board that you can add. But right now, the 2 players that they got, I think they feel really good about it. They got weapons on both sides. And I like the fact that, as a team, when you're talking about the division, loading up on playmakers at the receiver position, you don't try to match that early on with a playmaker on offense as well. Even though they got their guy at 4, you get a guy that can counter that, right? Counter the receivers in the division, and that's what Sauce brings to the table.
Ethan, how about some thoughts for you across the studio? Ahmad Sauce Gardner coming to New York.
Well, how could you not be excited about this if you're a Jets fan? Also, just being in New Jersey, is it sauce or is it gravy? That's something to be determined by you guys in a bit. But the reaction on Twitter, overwhelmingly positive from a lot of analysts, including Daniel Jeremiah, who is on set. The Jets, in DJ's eyes, got the best cornerback, his second best prospect overall. They also got his top receiver, so that's pretty good at both 4 and at 10. Then you go on to maybe some of the player reactions. Well, first of all, big flood. How about DJ Reed? 2 lock emojis. That basically means, all right, myself and Sauce getting after it on the outside. Let's just think about this before we see who else tweeted. Think about where the Jets cornerbacks room was at the end of last season. Think about where it is now. You're talking about Bryce Hall and Brandon Echols right now potentially being cornerbacks 3 and 4. I mean, the facelift that room got by Joe Douglas is a huge overhaul, something to keep in mind. And then how about right here, Zach Wilson? The Wilson to Wilson connection coming soon to a place near you. Number 2 to number, I guess we'll find out. Garrett Wilson, the newest Jet and the newest weapon for Zach Wilson. If you're a Jets fan, EA, how could you not be excited about what's to come?
The Jets draft on Dunkin sweepstakes is back. Win Dunkin coffee for a year and 2 Coaches Club tickets with an on-the-field experience for the 2022 Jets home opener at MetLife Stadium. Visit NewYorkJets.com/Dunkin for a chance to win an official rule.
With the 10th pick in the 2022 NFL Draft, the New York Jets select Garrett Wilson, wide receiver, Ohio State.
You are watching the Jets Overtime Special presented by Dunkin. Eric Allen inside the studio with Anthony Beck and Eric Coleman. Not only did the Jets grab Sauce Gardner with the number 4 selection, but they came back 6 picks later and got Garrett Wilson out of Ohio State. This team, this organization continues to talk about enhancing the development of the young quarterback, Zach Wilson. Will they pick up a receiver here?
Well, there's no question here. Outside guy, can run great routes. He's very fluent, great speed, super, super productive in one of the best conferences in college football. Hard to defend one-on-one, understands how to run the route tree perfectly, and he's got the burst and speed at 4.3 speed to get it done offensively. He's going to be an instantaneous weapon. I'd be shocked if in day one you don't see the kind of production you want to see out of him as a kind of a one receiver in your offense. I'm excited about it. I mean, you talk about what's out there and what's available and how the receivers ranked. I think clearly a healthy Jameson Williams would be the best receiver in this draft. But look, when is he going to be available? What are the question marks? Jets need playmakers now to play on week 1 of the season, and I think they got the best receiver in the draft.
All right, there you go. E, what do you think about Wilson? This is a kid at Ohio State at 23 touchdowns in 33 games. This kid finds the end zone.
Yeah, super productive. I mean, Garrett Wilson is a great route runner. And what I love about him, he attacks the football. He has great body control. When he goes up in the air, I mean, just great leaping ability, and he's coming down with the ball. He's a guy who can make up for any errant throws, any great coverage. He's going to come down with the ball. 50-50 balls in the red zone, routes, third down. I mean, there's a lot of things that you can do with Garrett Wilson at the receiver position. Line him up with Elijah Moore. I mean, you got a nice little duo here that can cause some mayhem for opposing secondaries.
Yeah, Anthony, I like the versatility. He was just talking about it. He played the slot in 2020. Then 2021, he goes outside the numbers and does the damage.
Well, I mean, I think that's what you need in this league. You need a guy that's can be a true one. And that's what he's going to come in and do. He does have the experience to go anywhere, and you can move him around. You can be versatile, like you said, offensively. You talk about the offense of the Jets and what they're trying to do. I think as you watched the season progress last year, you saw how it got to be fun to watch. I mean, it's been a while since we've seen an offense where with the Jets in the past years, past regimes, where you just weren't excited about what they were doing. Now you're talking about Elijah Moore, what he brings to the table, everything that he has done to lead into the end of the season, the production that he had, and now you team up with a guy that really was electric in college football. I mean, you watched him play every week. You were getting the best player on the field. I know he had some other weapons on that team, but he always stood out as the true one, the guy that they were trying to get the ball every single game. And you're right, the one thing about it, he gets to the end. I think that's important. Finding the end zone, getting to the end zone, catching touchdowns, whether you caught it from distance and got there or you caught it in the red zone when you needed him most, he was a guy that they could lean on every single week.
I'm having a hard time wrapping my head around the fact that Jameson Williams, Olave, and Garrett Wilson were all on the same team. Jameson Williams transfers to Alabama, and he tears it up. I mean, that's something else. But Wilson and Olave stay. And Garrett Wilson, can you talk about his body control? As a guy who played safety in the National Football League, how rare is it the way he can kind of contort his body and get that football?
Yeah, it's special. And when you talk about going up and grabbing balls in the air, most guys jump up, they have great leaping ability, and they're concerned about how they're going to land. This guy's like a cat. He always lands on his feet. It doesn't matter what the positioning is on the corner. He's coming down with the football. And when you can make those kind of catches, you gain the trust of your quarterback. Quarterback gains confidence. things get hectic offensively because of the things that you can do. You can open up the field. He can take the top off of defense. He can run routes. Like Anthony said, he can take a slant, take it 80 yards.
Yep.
You know, he can take, you can go across the middle, make catches. He can catch them in the red zone. This guy is a versatile receiver who has no fear, and he's coming down with that football.
For more on the Jets' newest offensive playmaker, here's Ethan.
All right, one thing. I just want to say Drake London went 8th overall to the Atlanta Falcons. A lot of people talked about Drake London's basketball prowess. Remember, he played at USC. Well, Garrett Wilson, no slouch on the hardwood either. He actually had a lot of D1 offers to play basketball, ended up going the football route because of his size. He said maybe if he were a little bit bigger, but I will say one thing. His father, in the Hall of Fame at Davidson, Garrett Wilson can bring it on the hardwood, and you can really see it, particularly with the body control. Obviously, we saw that at Ohio State, and that receiving room, to your point, with Jamison Williams once there, with Chris Olave, who went the pick after Garrett Wilson, extremely talented. So 3 former Buckeyes, 10, 11, and 12. Obviously, Jamison Williams, I would consider him a Crimson Tide. Point being, EA, that Garrett Wilson is a very good basketball player, and you can see that on the field despite not being the same height as somebody like Drake London.
The New York Jets Schedule Challenge presented by JetBlue is back. Win $100,000 by correctly predicting the exact order of all 17 games, including the bye week. Visit jetschedulechallenge.com for a chance to win and official rules. The 2022 New York Jets schedule presented by JetBlue is coming Thursday, May 12th. Sign up to be the first to know at nyjets.com/schedule release. That's it. The schedule's coming out Thursday, May 12th. That's only a couple weeks away, and that means Jets fans are going to be able to see Sauce Gardner at MetLife Stadium next year, Garrett Wilson. Can we talk about the changing dynamic of the receiver position right now? Because you do have Elijah Moore with 5 touchdowns in 11 games last year. You do have Corey Davis, who, yes, he's got to stay healthy, but he was on pace for a 1,000-yard season last year. You re-signed Braxton Berrios. Yeah. Denzel Mims is still on this roster. You're seeing depth and frontline talent as well.
Well, yeah, and this offensive line's improved, so that's going to give Zach Wilson more time, especially in the middle of the pocket where you feel really strong there with ATV and also Tomlinson and McGovern at center. So, you know, this team should be really primed to have huge strides and improvements offensively. You know, a lot of people probably looking at this draft and they see the 2 receivers come off the top there and like, oh, Drake London. A lot of people talk about him going to the Jets. Well, what is the difference between Drake London and Wilson? Well, when you watch Drake London, a lot of contested catches. I think that's good. It's a good trait to have. But I don't ever see a lot of the separation from him from the defensive backs. That's not a bad thing. It's just when you get in to the next level, play in the NFL, the speed, the defensive backs are quicker, they read things more. When I watch Garrett Wilson play and you turn on the tape, I see a lot of space in between him and the defensive back. Every time he's catching the ball, coming out of the route, it's on time. He's there, very sharp, smooth coming out of his cuts, and there's always time for him to get up the field and make plays. That's a true sign of a receiver. Can he make the contested catches? Yeah. Absolutely. He's got great hands. But I like a guy that can catch a ball from a quarterback, and he can turn up the field because he's run a crisp route. He can get up, make plays with his speed, and he plays up to that speed, that 4.38 that he has. So that's something to me that's important. You're going to see that out of him.
Listen, I'm smiling right now because I see you nodding. You got so many things to say right now.
Oh, man. No, it's exciting when you talk about that. That's a great point, Anthony. A great route runner who can create separation, who can make those windows for his quarterback, who can find holes in the zone, who can beat man-to-man coverage. These are the kind of players that you need on your offense that are going to get open. They're going to give your quarterback the best chance to make plays, and that's why this offense is going to start putting up a lot of points. You talk about Michael Carter running the football, great offensive line and protection. You add in some tight ends. I mean, there's a lot of different ways this offense is going to be able to beat a defense, and it's exciting to think about.
Yeah, don't forget about those tight ends, Anthony.
Yeah.
CJ, you
and all these picks we got. I'm telling you, it's just the
we're
beginning.
just getting started.
Conklin, of course. Hey, let's take a look at how it went down. Picks 6 through 10 there. Ike Ekwonu, linked to the Jets by a lot of people in those mock drafts. He goes to the Carolina Panthers. Evan Neal, the Giants, crosstown Giants, take Kayvon Thibodeau, and then they come back 2 picks later, take the big offensive lineman from Alabama. Drake London, the first receiver off the board. Charles Cross, the Seattle Seahawks address that offensive line with the number 9 overall selection. A lot of people think that he's the best pass protector of the bunch, and then the Jets come back with Garrett Wilson at number 10 overall. Okay, if you're Joe Douglas, if you're Robert Saleh right now, how are you feeling as the first round continues to unfold here?
Well, I don't know where the other picks are falling, but as I see some names popping up through social media, I'm thinking to myself, man, there's some good players that are rolling down.
So what are you
the bottom
saying?
of the
Are you
first
trying
round.
to get back in?
I'm
What are
just
you
saying,
saying,
I
Anthony?
mean, listen, I want to get home early tonight, but there may, there may be
not about you.
There may be some time where we got to sit around and watch this first round. Even if they don't, you feel good about the top of the second. So I think you can look for anything here. I think that the cards are dealt, and you can really find yourself some quality players. I'm looking for 4 starters coming out of these next 2 picks, along with the first round guys that you got. So the pressure's not on. I think Joe and his staff and everybody feels good about the homework they put in, and they feel like they're going to get 4 guys that can step on the field right now and make an impact for this team.
All right, I want to get to Ethan in just a second. Let's get him set up because he's going to give us some live updates about what's going on here in the draft. How are you feeling right now if you're Joe Douglas, if you're Rex Hogan, if you're Robert Saleh?
Well, I check off the first round as a win. You got 2 special players. You added a lot to your defense, a lot to your offense. It was just an overall win. You got 2 of the best players at their positions in the whole NFL
It's
draft.
an A+, right?
A+.
It can't be an A. It's the 2 best players arguably at their
Right.
positions, and you got them. So that's an A+. I mean, that's what you get for that grade. That's what it is.
I like that. Let's get to Ethan real quickly because you got some updates of what's happening right now.
It is a pretty big trade in the NFL. I actually don't know if our producer knows this. He'll be very excited. The Philadelphia Eagles have traded for Tennessee Titans wide receiver A.J. Brown, reportedly in exchange for the 18th overall selection and a 3rd round pick. So that means Tennessee in spot number 18 and the Philadelphia Eagles have A.J. Brown in their hands in Philadelphia.
Interesting happenings there in Tennessee because
That's big.
last year, of course, the Jets plucked Corey Davis in free agency. Julio Jones no longer a Tennessee Titan, and now A.J. Brown, a Philadelphia Eagle.
That's huge. That's a big-time player, man. You talk about helping your quarterback, right? Yeah. Jets did it with Garrett Wilson, and now you got Jalen Hurts getting a really nice weapon. Get ball in hand, watch him go. That's kind of what it's about.
Final thoughts from you, E.
I thought it was a great draft, a great start to the draft. Tomorrow is when the work continues. There's a lot of pieces that you can have. There's still a lot of value out there. So I think the future is bright for this team.
Yeah, and Anthony Becht, remember, says, hey, listen, Jets might want to get back into that first round. We're about halfway through. Remember, we're back at it tomorrow night. Make sure you tune in to Jets Overtime following rounds 2 and 3 of the NFL Draft. And you also can watch the draft, of course, 7 p.m. on NFL Network, ABC, and ESPN. For Caroline Hendershot, Ethan Greenberg, Anthony Becht, and Eric Coleman, I'm Eric Allen. We're signing off.